Hello everyone, Ecotech here. I wanted to make a small video to answer some of the questions that I've received in the last video last week. First of all, thank you for all the amazing positive feedback that I've received and all the small questions and the comments and tips that everyone gave. A lot of people had small questions around the very similar topics, being why is this system over-engineered? And by over-engineered, I mean that there's a lot of time that went into building this hardware, the software. There's a lot of components. I have dual pumps, multiple pipes and whatnot. And isn't that a bit overkill for the lettuce? And the reason, well, the answer is yes, it's definitely overkill for growing lettuce, and I'll never return the time and money investment if my goal is to grow lettuce. All these people are correct. However, the intent of this system is not to just grow lettuce. It's mainly to run experiments and gather data on how the plants react to different environments. And so by having this over-engineered system and having a per shelf control, I'll be able to really take all the environmental variables such as humidity, temperature, the light intensity, the light spectrum, the irrigation timing, and things like that, and set them as constants that I can control and see how that affects the plant. So if we look here, for example, this is a light meter. Basically takes the measurements, the lux measurement. So here we have 2.5 thousand lux. And notice that this distance is a bit smaller than this one. So if we go here, we should expect a smaller result. And if we look, we have 2.2 thousand. Right, that's 2.5. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I was expecting a bigger difference, but basically you can see that there is a difference. And by growing multiple of the same crops, so I'll put sunflowers here and there, I'll see how the plant reacts to this different light by keeping just the watering, and everything else will be the same. And later on, once I'm happy and I find the ideal intensity for that specific crop, then I'll be able to set both of them to the same intensity. Some of these shelves have the same distance, and play just with the watering and see how that affects it. Another reason I went with an overcomplicated watering system, some people were asking why didn't I do a connection at the bottom here and have it just drain through gravity. That's a very simple, and I probably would recommend a gravity drain. But here I'm not using that. I have a dedicated solenoid, more connectors, another pump. And the reason being that if we follow these, they come back to one main tube at the end before going to the reservoir. And this will allow me to put sensors out at this stage, and I'll measure the pH, the EC, the temperature, and whatnot of the fluid as it's getting pumped into the trays. And later on, I'll be able to also get the drain water and measure it. I don't expect to see a big difference, but the intent is to measure that and see if I do see a difference. And if I do, then maybe it might be interesting to investigate a bit more and see if this information tells us something useful or if I'm just wasting my time in details. Another reason I wanted two pumps, one for filling and one for drain, is for maintenance of this system. So a lot of these systems, when you put an outlet that's gravity fed or you drill a hole here and whatnot, a lot of people have this system fixed to their rack. Like you have PVC pipes connected, and then basically the the tray is fixed to the rack and it's not easy to remove it. However, here in my system, you can already see that I've moved these aside, so I could easily put them back. But when you move them aside, I can just grab this and take it out and go wherever I want. I actually took it out to clean it. So this one is fairly, well, it's cleaned. And now I can easily just plop those back in. Well, where's the second one? Here. I'll have a magnet system where these will just hook up at the bottom and be a lot easier to just hold on there. So this answers a lot of the over-engineering aspects of the questions that were asked. Let me see. Why do I need a control per shelf? Isn't that too much, too complex? Well, again, it goes back to yes, but I'll be able to run schedules and see how that affects the crop by having multiple crops in parallel. Another aspect is that Chris made an amazing Google Sheet organization for crops. I'll link it down below. Thanks, Chris, for sharing that. And by having a per shelf control through the Google schedule, I'll be able to take Chris's Google Sheet, have it connect and create Google schedule events that will populate the per shelf schedules. So what I'm saying is that in the future, I'll be able to put in my Google Sheet, oh, I need to fulfill 2 trays of sunflower and 1 tray of grass wheat, and the system will figure out, okay, these shelves are free. I'll set the schedule on this one for the sunflower with the best watering, the best lighting schedule and whatnot, and the system will tell me, okay, in shelf 1, plant them this day, uncover them this day, and harvest them this day, and it'll do the same for whatever, if it's arugula, if it's broccoli or whatever is being grown. So the system will automatically have a per shelf control and just let the user, in this case myself, but follow through with it. And this brings me along to the next question. Do I sell this? And do I have plans on bringing this to other people? So right now I'm not selling. I will not be selling it in the short term, that's for sure. There's a lot of things that needs to be worked and figured out. But the intent is to learn, see what is important, and later on bring this system to a usable, easily deployable and usable platform for you guys. Another reason I built this in a very complicated way is because as a grower, as a human, I make a lot of mistakes. I've went to work while forgetting to water them, and then you come back home and your crops are not totally dead, but you're able to salvage them. However, this destroyed a lot of the results I got. A lot of the data is no longer valid because it was inconsistent. And something that I like to play around with is custom lights. So I've ordered these. These are blue spectrum. I have another white spectrum. I've ordered, come on, focus. Yeah, there you go. Small LEDs. There's a funny looking one here. This one. Ordered LEDs, and there's so I just showed 3 types. There's 5 more types of LEDs coming in, and I'll play with light spectrum. So I've started to play with spectrum, but before being able to understand the effects of light quality on the plants, the rest of the system really needs to be steady and constant. Another question I got is, why am I not using these? So these are smart outlets. You connect them to an outlet. So let's see if I connect it here. Just undo this one and connect. This symbol turns on, and basically it's connected to well, it's emitting Bluetooth signal, and you're able to, through your phone, set schedules. Why am I not using these? Well, I was. However, again, it doesn't allow me to control too many enough variables, enough outlets. Here I have 10 sockets. That's quite a bit. And on some of them, I've added, how do you call it? Extensions, so I can plug multiple devices. But these Wi-Fi things work very well if you want to control 1 or 2 units and shut everything on, everything off at the same time. But in my case, I wanted finer control. So I would highly recommend them if you're amateur and you have a small setup and you're just trying to make it simpler on you and automate it. Yes, they're amazing. If you're trying to go a bit more in depth, they might not be the best. So let's see, I'm going through the list of questions. Oh yeah, this one, that's a good one. Am I using sensors to trigger certain events like the fans, the humidity, the lights? And so if you look here closely, in the end here, this is a temperature and a humidity sensor. So yes, I have sensors. However, right now the functionality of this sensor is not very well implemented. So basically it is in my plans, but currently the schedules are fixed and these turn on and off on the schedule. But in the future, if the temperature rises above a certain level, I'll move the air around and have other events triggered. So yeah. Why use Google Calendar? So why did I use Google Calendar? It goes back again to Chris. Chris, thank you for the Google Sheets. A lot of things are automated in the back end, and so by controlling everything on Google Calendar, it's very easy for manual control as well as automated control based on your orders, your sheets, and your schedules and whatnot. So it's an easy way to control everything without me having to write a custom user interface. Will I provide a cheat sheet to build this? If a lot of you people are interested, please let me know down in the comments. But currently, I don't plan on building a cheat sheet for the simple reason being that this is under development. There's still a lot of things to learn. And once I feel like I've learned enough, then I will start sharing more details so that you guys can start building this at your place if you want. So, yeah. By the way, you might notice that this shelf is not populated. I mean, I have my small lettuces, and I think this is kale. The reason being is that these valves, although they work, there's no redundancy. Actually, someone asked me, how do I prevent leaks and what do I do to mitigate if it happens? Well, right now there's not much implemented. There are plans on covering these tubes with more tubes to catch leaks if they happen and bring them back to a proper reservoir. I need to change this reservoir. So the answer is that I haven't automated the watering as well as I'd like, and until it is, I am not planting much just because I'm very busy with work at the moment. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Like or dislike the video. Let me know any positive, well, not positive, but any constructive criticism is very appreciated. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. See you. Bye.